What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, we're going to talk about why I just sold NVDA at 114.5 for a 25% profit, and why you might want to consider doing the same if it's a trade. And with the all-important CPI tomorrow morning, is this market going to go up and through the 50-day moving average like a hot knife through butter, or are we most likely going to have a retest of the lows? All that and more. All right, ladies and gentlemen, happy Tuesday to you. Before I go any further, I want to shout out to our more than 400 strong inside of the Discord. Without your financial, your emotional, and dare I say love, this guy right here would not be able to do what I do. I'm on this earth to help promote small business owners, make money in the fucking stock market, and help you meet new friends from all over the world. If you're interested, it's shopsmallbiz.com. You get a Discord if you don't have a small biz, premium if you do. Shopsmallbiz.com. All right, all you fucking peacockers, if this goes up and fills the gap heading into the week before earnings on the 28th for NVIDIA at 125, I look forward to hearing from you. But if something happens, I don't know, Iran decides to launch this time 1,000 instead of 300 missiles into Iran, if we get some sort of black swan related to the election, or how about this? How about the CPI comes in hotter than expected tomorrow? PPI was 1/10, a tenth less than expected. So we're getting a melt up. We're approaching half, if not slightly higher, of the recoup of the drop from the top to the extreme low related to the Japanese carry trade. I decided, bird in the hand's worth two in the bush, and don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Pulled the fucking ripcord. That's the fifth profit of 25% in the last 2 months. We had four others, mostly in biotech, of the same amount. Now, you might be thinking, oh, that's not too bad. I'm getting my ass kicked. So are we. We're getting our ass kicked in the Kraken. I told you we bought some at 195 to 2. That still stands. We got a biotech stock that decided to do an offering 50% below the market. We were sitting pretty at $2 a share. Here comes a $1.10 offering, and then it gets fucking slaughtered after that. And we got one other stock, not down so much, but even the guy right here, 127 wins, one loss in the last 11 months. One. But I got 3 drawdowns, 2 of which are nasty. So if we had to blow out of all 3 and end the year, and it began September the 1st a year ago, that's 127-4. If you'd have listened to me a year ago and joined us, you'd have made massive triple-digit returns. If you rebought the Kraken, or you just got involved, and not many have in the last couple of months, yeah, it's been a tough time. We didn't escape it either. And my 30 years of experience, half of that as a broker from 93 to 07, tells me that we're in a very treacherous time. September is calendar-wise the worst of the entire year. And we have an election where Willie Brown's side piece, who didn't get a single fucking vote in a primary, whose own staff, 92% of which have quit, has a chance to become the next president of the United States. And the other side might have something to do or say about it. So we put 50% of our money at or near the lows. We got some Qs at 421, SPY at 510. That goes with the 162 that we bought in the IWM last October. I own most of those ETFs up to 300% because I was buying most of it between 2012 and 2019 when I said, see you later to corporate America, so I can talk like I did in yesterday's video. And that reminds me, I'm a one love sort of guy. And if you've been paying real close attention, not only do I not talk about certain things unlubricated in orifices that you may have, I haven't said that in almost a month and a half. I'm moving on. I haven't even given the scalpers a hard time. Don't be fucking peacocking and tooting your own horn in my house, or I'll throw your fucking ass out. But I realize now that I can't stop that. Every time that I pull the trigger, you get a notification to your phone. I've already done 6 videos inside of our Discord. You might think, oh, all I got to do is listen to this guy once or twice a week on YouTube. No, I do a half a dozen videos, in some cases more than that, 2 minutes long inside the Discord every damn day. Now, lots of folks, at least half, don't pay any attention. 90% plus didn't log in to tell me whether or not they scored on NVIDIA. And if you annualize 25% in a 2-week period, that's big fucking money. It helps mitigate the massive drawdowns we're seeing in names like Kraken. But I'm done, as hard as it is for me, and it's hard, trying to shove a square peg through a round hole. If I'm going to be here to do what I do best, promote small business owners, stack motherfucking cash to the ceiling for the next 10 or 20 years, and believe me, as this secular bull market matures and we get into the next decade, you're going to need guys like me more than ever. Because we may see a massive fucking crash in the stock market related to $50 trillion in debt, a bankrupt Social Security system, and a world that is pretty much insolvent. Oh, dare I mention, along with a plummeting birth rate, along with emasculated men, if we can even call them that have almost no testosterone. Bull markets like this one and the one that was invented as a result of Al Gore and the internet, Mr. Rubbin' a Tug, and before that, the advent of the automobile and telecom post-World War II, it relies on demographics. Right now is like 1989. The boomers drove a massive bull market when I was on Wall Street. But from 95 to 2000, there was over a dozen corrections of 10 or 15%, which is typical in a secular bull market. We may have just had one of the nastiest, quickest ones in the last 2 weeks related to the Japanese yen carry trade. But as this market matures and we get towards, 2030, Project 2030, what I talked about some, and I'm going to do it great length, even though they're censoring the motherfucking hell out of me. This world's about to change, folks. It has nothing to do with skin color or politics. It's called the enslavement of the human race. How do you think the hidden hand, the George Soros, the Bill Gates, and even a layer or two behind them can control 7 or 8 billion people with a cell phone in their hand? They can't unless they go real hardcore. They chip your children, even you and me. We may, in fact, have gotten it with the jab during the scamdemic. They're absolutely openly talking about all this. All the more reason why you really need to get inside of our private community. We have over 7 channels. We just launched a biz directory, which is going to be amazing. I'm going to drive traffic to everyone that has a premium membership, like Todd from Holton's Rustic Flags. He sold thousands of dollars, and I'm going to make sure he fucking sells thousands more right here in this cup, even though I don't have the right mug because I hate doing dishes. DropBearCoffee.com. It's bloody terrific, mate. My buddy Tony from Australia. He now lives in San Diego. I'm going to do my best with every dying motherfucking breath to help small business owners, as I did during the EIDL program before it shut down, to help you live your best life. And if shit hits the fan and everything becomes surveilled and they start penalizing us like they do in China for bad-mouthing the system, we're going to need a private place. And while there may be some 3-letter organizations that are already monitoring certain channels, what are they going to see inside of ours? Man, there's a lot of love in here. This motherfucker knows what he's talking about. Name one time where I've not nailed the fucking stock market and or Bitcoin in the last few years. You can't give me any. Which leads me to my final point as to why you need to get in there and take advantage of 4 or 5 videos a day. Somebody asked me, how come you're so good at nailing the markets, but not so much lately with penny stocks? I'll tell you why in a second. We have had over 500 winners in the last 2.5 years when you incorporate the Ask Jason program and sharing what I did on Twitter. 1 loss in 11 months. And if I'd have waited a half an hour, it tripled after I fucking sold BENF. Got out at 4, it was $12 half an hour later. So pretty much no losses for almost a year. And if I sold the other 3 that I'm down on, 127 and 4. But the reason why it's hard for you that are bag holding in names like Mullen and fucking GNS and FFIE, I could keep on motherfucking going. dilution, and reverse splits. When you're talking about the averages, and again, we just bought the lows on this massive correction, you've got thousands of companies, many of which Amazon, Google, Microsoft, etc. They're buying back hundreds of billions of shares every single year collectively. They're taking supply off the market. What is Kraken and virtually every other stock that's non-profitable, and that's 90% of them under $1 doing? Dilution. Here's 300 million shares to the fucking Keystone Cops. Google would never get away with doing shit like that. They'd have them fucking locked up. So the reason why it's hard, even if you are a good technician and you pay attention to the fundamentals as I do in these penny stocks, is the CEOs are always dishing out liquidity, aka more shares, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Dilution, reverse. Dilution, reverse. Dilution, reverse. The question obviously is, why bother? Why do it? Why play around in these things, especially with this new NASDAQ rule coming, where they're basically going to say if you do any more than one reverse every year, you're going to be kicked over into the pink sheets and you're never fucking coming back. The answer is, at least for now, and we have a lot more stocks that are over $1, we're going to have a sweet spot of $5 or less. So we'll have one or two under $1, one or two between 1 and 2, no more than 7 core holdings. That's how you stay concentrated enough to crush the market. And if you have 65%, as I do in ETFs or index funds, or as I recommend for most of you, depending on your risk, 80% in the indexes, you can handle volatility like what we're seeing in some of these names. But I can't stop them from diluting. I can't stop them from reverse splitting. But what we are fairly good at, minus the last month or two, which has been challenging in a low liquid or volume way down type of environment, is you have to buy the extreme lows. You got to get in there when they're fucking slaughtered down 99%. Most of what I'm buying is down more than 90% from their all-time highs. Many of them have already gone through 2 or 3 reverse splits. I look for the stochastics, the MACD, and in some cases, the RSI way oversold, and I say, okay, it's time to build a position. We buy half, we add small or average down 1 or 2% of our cash. We get between 10 and no more than 15% per idea. And yeah, 127 times in the last year, about a month or two later, we ring the register and make approximately 32%. So until next time, always remember that I love you. And thank you so very much for watching.